Hi guys, zpolt here. Welcome to my lab. Today we're gonna look at the QKZ CK5, and this is the cheapest IEM that I have ever seen. So how does it compare with the KZ counterparts and also the Xiaomi pistons? Is it good sounding, and am I gonna recommend it in my sub $5 range? We're gonna find out in this video. But of course, we review budget-fi to mid-fi audio gear, so if you're into that, consider subscribing. Now let's proceed to the QKZ CK5. Let's proceed to the build, and actually for the price, it is not so bad. So here in the lobes, it is made of plastic, but I would say that the color that they chose here is really good. Feels upscale compared to your maybe KZ counterparts. I like the logo that they chose here, the sort of Assassin's Creed kind of logo. It is not bad looking. The shape is also cool. It has, that angled lines at the corners. I like that look. The tips is not super duper smooth, but it is okay. It's sort of like a KZ-ZS3 tips. It feels nice in your ear. It doesn't have removable cable as well. I found that the hard way in my unboxing. Links up here. It has the ear hook kind of design, of course, but I didn't like the ear hooks here. It tends to pop out after some time after using it, so when I put it in my bag and I remove it, it is already popped, so that is a bummer. But I kind of like that it has some memory already, and it fits well in your ear as well. Here in the cord, it is not super duper thick, but I like the texture that they chose here. It's not the sticky kind of texture. I wish it was thicker, but it does feel reassuring. I mean, compared to maybe your Xiaomi pistons. You have the mic here, the single module. It's made of plastic, not so high quality plastic, but yeah, not so bad to be honest. Here in the plug, it is a straight plug. It has a silver color here. It feels upscale. It's not made of metal, but it's not so bad feeling, but I wish it was an L plug. Now let's proceed to the comfort. So the lobes fit nicely in my ear. I was actually surprised that it fits really nice in my ear in my unboxing. The tips are soft enough, and it does isolate quite well because of that kind of universal IEM kind of design. It is also a comfortable wear for me. So one minor gripe again is because of the ear hook being too thick. It does have some warmth at the back of my ear from time to time. I need to sort of remove it and get it back again to get the air back at the back of my ear. So that is a minor gripe there, but the fit is good here. So definitely this is one of the most stable fits that I have ever worn, and the price range, especially for a budget IEM. So build and comfort, I would say, is quite impressive for the price. Now let's proceed to the meat of our discussion, which is the sound. So right off the bat, this requires a little bit more power to drive. So my S2 usually 60% volume is already okay, but here in the CK5 I need about like 95% volume to get it to a good volume. So yeah, if you're using your phone, the power may not be enough to power this. So just something to note for you guys. But overall, the sound, I would say I like the sound here. I like what I'm hearing in the CK5, especially for the price. And I may like this more than the Xiaomi pistons, to be honest. And I like this more than the CK8. And here is why. So the sound here is kind of a relaxed sound. It also has some musicality to it. It does have some treble roll-off, so that may be a deterrent for some. But it does have substantial bass response here. So this is sort of a relaxed kind of listen, an enjoyable kind of listen. So the sound signature is balanced sound with a warm tilt. The mids are a bit recessed, of course, but it doesn't have that much resolution as well. It doesn't have much detail, but that is common in this price range, especially in the sub $5 price range. Highs. The highs has a treble roll-off. The body is good. It lacks some sparkle, so there's not a lot of top end here. And it might sound veil for some people, but actually this kind of signature makes way for a relaxed kind of highs. There's no hint of sibilance here. So this is highs that you can listen for a long period of time, maybe even 8 hours. you won't get fatigued in this kind of signature. So this may be good for movie watching, this may be good for YouTube videos, and of course for music listening. You don't have that much top end, but you can listen to this for a long period of time. So it may sound bad for some people, especially for those who like treble, but yeah, this makes way for a more relaxed kind of sound. So that may be for you, not for you. That will be up to you. Mids. The mids here are smooth and relaxed again. There's not a lot of detail, but it's still a pleasant listening. There's not a lot of layering as well. The body is below average to average. It doesn't resolve well. So there's sort of like a feeling that there's a hole in your sound. But I would say it's still good here. Bass. I would say this is the strong suit of this earphone. There's a nice bass punch here, but it is in the boomy side. It does have some rumble in some tracks as well, but it's still quite a smooth bass. And given it has a warm tilt, this earphone may be for bass heads as well. So Spectrum overall, I like the smooth kind of signature. So you guys know me, I like to listen to guitar tracks. So listening to guitar tracks in here is a pleasant listen. There's no hint of sibilance. Soundstage, now this is the reason why I think this is worth it, and this is maybe my top recommendation over the Xiaomi Pistons. The soundstage here is bigger than the Xiaomi Pistons and bigger also than the CK8s. So given that I rarely mentioned that I like the whole Spectrum overall, the soundstage is sort of what makes this sort of a notch up compared to the Xiaomi Pistons. This has sort of KZ level kind of soundstage and maybe a bit bigger. So that is impressive again given the price. Imaging, the layering here and imaging is not so well pronounced. It is not the strong suit of this. This doesn't have that much sensitivity. So this is not something that you want to use for accurate footsteps, for example, gaming. Hearing comfort. So this has a relaxed sound, maybe the most relaxed that I have heard. So hearing comfort here is very good. You can listen to this for maybe 8 hours. You won't have any problem whatsoever. So overall, this again a likable earphone across the range. Good smooth sound across the spectrum. It has big soundstage, not the most resolving, but also sound veiled for some tracks. But for me, it hits the correct spots to make this a likable earphone to listen to, especially for the price range, especially for beginners. Earphone comparisons. So compared to the Vido has more sparkle than the CK5s. It has better layered mids, a more musical kind of sound. It also has more detail. The Vido is still a monster for the price, though of course this is an earbud, but I like the Vido more than the CK5. Aoi ES900i, the highs are better in the CK5. The signature is similar, but the Aoi has more high extension. It does have more sparkle in the Aoi ES900. It is also a little bit more punchy, but I like the CK5s more. It has good sound across the spectrum. Compared to the Xiaomi Pistons, the Pistons are a little bit more aggressive sounding, comparable in resolution, but the CK5 has a bigger soundstage. But the Pistons are a touch more detailed compared to the CK5. QKZ CK8, the CK8 has more high extension than the CK5s. Definitely, if you like treble, maybe the CK8 is for you. The CK8 also has a more aggressive kind of signature, more punchy than the CK5. But I like the CK5 because it has a better sound across the spectrum. I will explain in the CK8 review coming soon. Genre pairing. Guitar tracks are very good here. There's no hint of sibilance. And guitar tracks usually tend to be bright tuned. So this pairs well with a warm earphone like this. Alternative rock music plays well here as well. The mids are good enough to carry the rhythm and bass is substantial for a nice listen. EDM and hip-hop are very good here. The bass is substantial here and the upper mids is good to carry the vocals as well. Female vocal tracks may not sound as good here given the treble roll-off and may sound muddy in some tracks as well. Acoustic tracks doesn't have that much punch here given that it is more of a relaxed tone as well, so I wouldn't use this for acoustic tracks. Okay, verdict. So for $5 or 199 pesos, this is not the best sounding IEM under $20 for sure, but yeah, this is just $5. And for $5, I would say that this is a very likable earphone. It has good build, it has the IEM kind of fit, the really good looks I would say, and also good fit in your ear, and the sound is very likable as well. Something that you can use for a lot of usage, for movie watching, for even gaming, and of course music listening. It has that relaxed sound that you can listen to it for a long period of time. Of course, this is not the most detailed earphone in the price range, but I would say the whole package is nicely done, and it does have the bigger soundstage compared to the Xiaomi Piston. So I would say this is a good recommendation for me. So this is one of the reasons why I think this is the top recommendation now for me. The whole package, there's a lot of value here in terms of the whole package. So I would gladly have this sort of as a backup earphone for me for my more expensive IEMs. I would like to have this if I want a good fit in my ear as well. If I want a relaxed kind of listen, if I'm listening to guitar tracks, I would like to have this. And of course, if I like to listen to bass music, I would gladly use this as well. So this is my number one recommendation for the most bang for the buck now in sub $5 range. Personally, I use this for my backup again, and for general usage, I would just have this in my bag. So yeah, again, top recommendation for me. Check this out, guys. It's super duper cheap, and I believe that for some collectors, this is something that you should have in your bag. So that is my review. Hopefully you like that review, and this is sort of, again, a scripted kind of review. I'm still trying to get used to these kinds of reviews. I'm more comfortable, to be honest, in a non-scripted review because it's just me having fun with the gadgets. So that's why I'm not like super hyped about the products. But that's sort of something that I need to consider in the future. But again, hopefully you like this review. If you learned something, leave a like, and of course subscribe for more content like this here in zpolt Labs. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye.